Kraken's Garage. Good morning, everybody. What is good? Welcome, everybody. My name's Eric. This is Kraken's Garage, such as it is. I decided to start a YouTube channel. All my life, I've been riding about 41 years, believe it or not, over 1 million miles. And during that journey in my life, I have tried to help be an advocate or ambassador of two wheels. So I do a lot of writing and blogging on forums, ADV, sporttouring.org, and a couple others, and I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from people on that. And as a result, I thought during this wonderful year of 2020, with all that's going on and the downtime I have, I thought I would take a stab at it, and my targeted audience is you. So I'm starting this channel with the big goose egg 0 subscribers as of this very moment, and we'll see how it goes. I rotate my fleet of bikes. I have 5 at this time. Most of them are small CCs, and we'll go over each one of them. I have loads of parts to install, a lot of maintenance items, and we're going to do some how-to videos and have some fun during that journey. And I'm a highly trained, unprofessional that's been doing this a long time, and it'll be fun to see the mistakes that I make as I go, and the viewers will be razzing me in the comments and things like that. I'm just hairy homeowner working in my garage and doing what I love. My hopes and dreams are that possibly the channel will grow and start to create a little bit of income. We'll buy beater bikes, fix them up, and hopefully give them away to some of the YouTube subscribers or Patreons if I get enough subscribers to get a Patreon account going and get more people involved in the sport of riding on a motorcycle, scooter, or basically anything two-wheel. Now I want to talk about for a second what kind of items am I going to review and how I'm going to do it. My review items are going to be basically upgrades, modifications, maintenance to my bikes, and what I think will be good and won't be good. I promise you, the audience, that you'll get the truth. So all of this is funded out of my pocket, so I take it quite serious. So if the product sucks, it's going to suck, and I'll explain why and my thoughts on it. Not everybody will agree. Some will agree to disagree. Some will say, dang, that's really helpful. I appreciate you giving me a heads up on that. Or they may point out, you know, hey, Eric, you did this wrong. And I may go back and revisit it and try it again. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be a journey and an adventure. I get a lot of people or friends when I told them I was going to do this video, why are you calling it Kraken's Garage? Well, one of my license plates on one of my bikes is Kraken. And all my life I've been a huge fan of folklore, and my heritage is Swedish, Norwegian, Nordic, if you will. So as a child, I fell in love with the sea monster Kraken. Most people think it's kind of a Greek mythology. It's not. It's Nordic, Germanic, believe it or not. So when you watch Pirates of the Caribbean and things like that, that's where a lot of people get their information on that. So Kraken is my hero, as jacked up as that is. I love it, and we're going to have some fun. I've still got a lot of work to do. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes on my YouTube. I'm a one-man show. I've never done editing before. We'll see how that goes. First half a dozen videos are going to suck straight up as I learn to edit and try to add some bazing on it to make it interesting and get better lighting and camera angles to talk about what we're going to go through during this journey. So we shall see how that goes. I will try to answer any questions. I read every comment. That's a given at this time. And you can reach me, send me private messages. I still have yet to set up Instagram, Twitter, etc., etc. I will try to get that done this week and set that up, so I can reach out to people on social media and they can get a hold of me if they have any questions or topics that they want to review. So if you enjoy this video and you believe in me, subscribe. hit that notifications button, as it will help me grow as a channel. And hopefully we can get up and going and, do some small giveaways, gear, gloves, things like that. If the channel grows, we'll give away helmets and things like that to help people out, to get back on the journey of riding on two wheels that we all know and love, or hopefully introduce somebody new to the sport. I personally have invited many people to learn how to ride. I've taken many gals, actually, and taught them in my front yard on my bikes, and helped them get through the MSF, Motorcycle Safety Foundation class, and get their motorcycle license, and some of them now to this day are long-term motorcyclists. My family, my father, that's a picture of him on the back wall on his 47 Indian Chief, is my hero, and he's gone now. I lost him to Alzheimer's, but he was my riding partner. I love him to death, and my inspiration. All my life I knew I wanted to be on two wheels. I started out on a Briggs & Stratton mini bike that had no brakes, riding around like a bat out of hell with no helmet. It's amazing when you look back and you think, good God, how did we survive that? As this generation looks at the next generation, or the newest generation, everybody's wearing helmet and armor and guards and things like that. I had none of that when I was a kid, so I'm happy to have survived that, if that makes sense. So anyway, getting back to my father, basically ever since the day I was born, I knew I was born to be on two wheels, and I begged to get my first bike. The day I turned 16, I was down at DMV getting my driver's motorcycles license to ride, and I bought my first motorcycle, and that lit the bug. My father was a pilot, and he had been a motorcyclist his whole life, and he gave it up because, break an arm or a leg, you're out of a job. So with that said, he couldn't stand it, so he threw a leg over my bike, and the bug re-bit him again, and he got back into it, and we became riding buddies. And my stepmother at the time was like, oh hell no, if you guys are out having all the fun, I'm going to get involved with it. So she got involved with it, and lo and behold, we as a family, the three of us, would travel and take trips all over the place, as family vacations, long distance riding. My parents were very accomplished riders. My stepmother's still alive. She's down in Southern Virginia. She's 85. She rode up into her early 70s. If I root around, I'll dig around and find some old pictures to share with you. They mostly rode BMWs, but Dad's true love was Indians. And he had two of them, a 46 side hack with a functional reverse, and then that 47 Chief. And they made the cover of classic bike magazines and stuff like that. So I believe a fellow out of Lake Elsinore, California, is the one who built those bikes. His name was Jake Junker. Some of you may or may not have heard of him, but he did amazing work during that era. But anyway, back on topic. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be a wonderful journey. First up on my list of bikes to work on, I have a 2018 Honda CRF 250L Rally. We're going to do a service on that. If I had had the cojones enough to start this YouTube channel, I've already done a bunch of modifications to that bike, and I could have provided a lot of content for people. But when I get that one up on the rack, we'll talk about the mods that I did and why I did them, and how good or bad they worked out for me during that journey. Okay, here's a couple of modifications I've already done to the CRF 250. Basically, I put on the SRC rack. A couple of things I really liked about this rack. It's kind of modulated, and I normally run Kriega packs, and I'll show you in the next video. But they strap right onto here, and they come in different configurations, so you can really rack them and stack them on this style of rack. I really like the way that the extra gas tank was folded up inside the rack itself, so in the event of an off, you're not going to get any damage to the gas tank, the extra gas tank, which is kind of slick. It also kind of protects the tail light, turn signals from debris and whatever in the event of a tip over. Again, just a great idea. Another item that I liked was the ability to keep the OEM toolbox. A lot of the racks that are available for this bike don't allow you to keep that. They basically have you remove it, and you lose that portability of stowing some more gear in there and tools, which is kind of essential when you're out in the middle of nowhere and on the trails. I also opted to go with the tool tube. This is just a tube with a rubber gasket. It is waterproof. I keep a couple of spare tubes in there, some tire irons, and some basic tools that help me in the event I have issues when I'm out on the trail. That's the good news, and it's really well protected and pretty inexpensive since all it is a Tupperware tube, plastic tube, so no big deal there. But I will say I'm a pretty tall, lanky guy at 6'4", and the bike, being a trail bike, is already tall to begin with, so it's a hassle for the people with a shorter inseam to get on and off the bike. Throwing a leg over this bike is no problem, but now I got to travel another 4, 5, 6 inches to clear this tube just to get on and off the bike, which is actually a pain in the neck. So I may have to start, I may rethink that and remove it. I haven't decided yet. Moving forward, I installed some engine guards, and I liked this particular one because it had bash plates that are replaceable in the event it takes some damage and not your actual bash guards. Kind of a slick. I mounted some LED lights, switched into a dash bezel. I'll show you in just a moment. These are just cheap Amazon lights, but they get the job done. Again, this bike I set up on the budget to do Moab, and did not spend a fortune on Touratech and all the really nice off-road options. This is basically a poor man's ADV bike, or as I call it, the Wii ADV. And this bezel, which kind of goes around the gauge cluster, is really, really slick. It basically allows you two cigarette lighter type recharge portals. In my case, I installed USB ports that I just travel right into my tank bag, where I can recharge my phone, GoPro, whatever I got going on. Makes it really slick. Run a nav, your phone off the bar, whatever you want. So this one also has a volt meter, which is right slick. I ride year round, so keeping track of how many volts are on the bike and whether I'm taxing the small bike's charging system too much with my heated gear is something that I'm kind of cognizant of. So that's kind of important to me. And it's waterproof, so kind of slick. Also, it gives me the ability to have switches here for my LED lights, which actually works out quite nice. I'm quite happy with that. That's about it for the changes to it. The only other thing I want to do is replace this bash guard, which is plastic from Honda. I think if it took a real hit, it's not going to last very long, and many people have broken theirs right out of the box, so we'll see what happens there. One other item. These stock handguards from Honda are kind of a joke. In the event you have a tip over, they're going to crack immediately, as many people have reported. Kind of silly. So I'm probably going to go with the highway dirt bike ones that have they have a bar here to protect your levers from snapping off, of course. But the mirror replaces these mirrors. It has a tuck-away mirror that folds out. So when you go off-roading, you can fold them back in. Because, again, mirrors are another thing that get beat up every time you go riding. So something to think about. So that's it on the ADV. I set that bike up to make a trip from Moab, and due to COVID-19, I wound up canceling that trip. So there sits my Wii ADV bike, and with hardly any miles on it, and I'm heartbroken. So many things have been canceled this year during this journey. So of the wonderful 2020. So I hope you stick around. We're going to have some fun. And remember, folks, go riding because it's good for ya.